As in, well, not so little big people and all that as well. Oh, okay. Well, and well. Feel Good Friday, Sans Woo Woo, Nurture by Natalie, Mash Up Crackers, Full Moon Settings. Although the full moon's tomorrow. How are you doing? Hello, you, yes, you, every one of you who did it. How are you, nurturers? Well, just saying this is your big sis coming to you like on 3 hours sleep because Tuesday one is a lunatic, full on 24 karat lunatic. Um, yeah, this full moon energy was well strong, well strong. I did. So I've noticed like anytime there's a full moon or like a few days coming up to the full moon, like my sleeping pattern, like this morning it was after 5 and my brain was still ticking over. Okay. It may be because I was playing one of my tunes and it doesn't I don't know, I'm still figuring it out. Maybe it's because um Mercury's playing in Taurus. Who knows? But good to hear that you're good. Good that everything's cool, babe. Yeah, so full moon settings, full moon in Scorpio. But first and foremost, how is everybody doing? I just want to know. Maybe it's just me, you get me? Could be just me. It could be some of us. Could be all of us. But weird. Especially at such a energetic time. I need to refill my lighter. Truthfully. Hmm. I never get enough of that fragrance. Yeah, man. As you can tell from the panda. Oh, yeah. I want to stand up with that for me. That's better. I'm finding it a little bit hard to settle today because um, due to not being corpus mentis, the shopping's coming between 8 and 9, which is the same time as the show. But I'm not complaining. I might just have to get up in the middle of the tea. But that's fine too. Um, so get started. So sleep's been interrupted. Full moons. So this weekend's full moon, which is on the 18th. I'm not sure what time it occurs in the States or in the UK. It should be 10:11 p.m. tomorrow night on the 18th. So the energy of it is really strong at the moment. Um, hold on a second. Yeah, the energy of it is really strong. Maybe 3 days before full moon, 3 days after is when you feel the energy most heavily. And so it's quite telling that my sleep for the last few nights has been thrown out. Like normally 3 o'clock, usually, if I fall asleep around 3, I can usually kind of be corpus mentis. Oh, before I even get into all of that, I want to say a massive thank you to Sick Nurse, Mummy Sick Nurse, at Team Sick, who kind of gave me the idea and impetus for the jeux with regards to the questions. Talking of the questions, Kitty Winks, yeah, what, yeah. You know, when you tap on the story and you look at the story and you see a question, there's a box that comes up either on the page where the question is or the next box. You see when you see that box where it asks the question and there's two answers, tap on your screen with your finger on the answer, and that's how we interact. Because I wouldn't say that I'm any oil painting. I'm beautiful in my own way, but I'm not an oil painting. And it's just a lot nicer if there is reciprocity. But every time I post it, I do see the eyes to say, yes, sis, you're all right. You're all right, darling. I get the eyes to see that there's been interaction. And there's those of us that interact and go, oh, that's a question being asked. Let me answer it. But at the end of the day, there's lots of other people that you can just watch. And I keep seeing the same faces popping up doing that same thing. But you can interact it. You might get something out of it. That's the part. So Ella says full moon, full moon, full moon, full moon. So yes, King, you alright? Tell Empress I put that thing in the post today. It should be there Monday, yeah. Um there's one parcel that should arrive separately in a different packaging from the rest. That's for Empress's personal one. Um, all right. So I just as I see her, I remember that. So please let her know. I will let her know anyway. Okay. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel good Friday. Sans woo woo. Yeah. Okay. Full moon in Scorpio. No man. Thank you, Steve. Full moon in Scorpio. Why am I even mentioning the full moon? What is the significance of it? Okay. So full moons. There's two phases of the moon that are said to be or have the most profound effect on people, humans. First, from a scientific standpoint, before we get the scientific brigade, it's pseudoscience. From a scientific standpoint, the moon, in terms of its gravitational pull, controls water. Human beings are X amount of percent water, so hopefully 80 something plus percent water. I wish we're all on the same page so far. All right, boom. So considering that we and a lot of things are a high percentage of water, and the moon affects water due to its gravitational pull, I think it's fair and reasonable to say that the moon has an effect on human beings. Now it says the most timed or the most frequent phases of the moon that have an effect is the full moon and the new moon. Now there are certain aspects that are related to a full moon and a new moon. So just skipping over new moon real quick. New moons are a time to start things, initiate things, because it's kind of like it's new, fresh gravitational energy pulling. All right, boom, clear that out of the way. Full moons then are a time to let go, to release, because it's fully, you see, because the moon's full, it's energetically, it's a time for release. Um, people, some people, the full moon and people's reactions to it or connectivity to it in terms of their mood, tying into Mental Health Awareness Week, where we get the phrase or the old word lunatic, luna meaning the moon, and then ticks as in whatever behaviors they display. So that's where lunatic comes from. So even though the old school, yes, sis, you're right, darling. Even though the old school don't always get everything right, on this one, I think they knew a bit more about something that wasn't cynical to the point of where, um, hello, sis. My little sister's on YouTube as well. That is so cool. You know, they were aware that the moon had a profound effect on some people, depending on the level of their sensitivity to frequency vibrations, and possibly that gravitational pull that might have been pulling whatever in balance or out of balance, depending. So full moons are a good time to release energy. Some of the lunar tics that are most common or prevalent is interrupted sleep. It's almost as if the gravitational pull is pulling you out. So almost like pulling your circadian rhythms out of routine. Well, I find that's the case for me. If anybody else experiences that, or even if they didn't realize or not interested in the fact that it's a full moon, has anybody in the last few days experienced interrupted sleep, or maybe just feeling a bit out of sorts? Let me know. Like, type that answer in the commenting box thing. Also, some people get like more vivid dreams. Like I find that I get like my dreamscape is crazy mad when it comes to full moons. Always I get like the most, like if I could put it onto the big screen, which means that I have the capacity of being a millionaire. I say, let it be. So yeah, vivid dreams. Some people it can be over emotional or feeling of disconnectedness. It can manifest itself in different ways. There are people that believe that depending on what planets are in which alignment when the full moon happens. All right, last few days being waking up at stupid o'clock before the alarm, was having a good one last night. Is that a dream, sis? Yeah, good dreams. Like, yes, I had like a really profound one, and depending on where the planets are, there's different aspects. Because okay, let me just put this disclaimer in. I've already established that okay, if we start with the sun, we know the sun has a profound effect on us and how things work, how our so is it psycho-emotional spiritual bodies work, our energy is for many people is related to the sun and how that works. All right, a good vivid dream. Yes, that's not I couldn't remember last night's one, but the night before, but I'll get into that in a bit. But it's good that's good that the psyche is clear enough to be giving positive messages. And I was doing a bit of research. I'm not an expert on any of this by any stretch of the imagination. I don't claim to be. I don't necessarily want to be. My thing is sharing tips and bits of information that I've picked up along the way that helps people to have a better experience. All right, boom. So, depending, we said the sun has an effect. There's seasonally aided depression and things like that. Circadian rhythms, melatonin, serotonin linked to the sun, and what have you. So we know that the sun has an effect on us. That's for some people, it's very spiritual. Many people, it's physical. Science agrees with the spirit. I forgot to turn my ringer off on the phone. Excuse me. If the sound cuts out, please let me know. Yeah. So the sun has an effect. As I already sort of said, the moon has an effect. The gravitational pull, lunatics, full moons, vivid dreams, water. You find that some women, their cycle can align with the full moon depending on how strong the moon is and stuff like that. And the cycle can move like along the month depending on where the moon is. That's getting into some super fine. But water, and the emotions as well, because some people feel like happy and joy when they're clear. A lot of people, like I was having a conversation with my sister today, was feeling tearful, and yeah, so tears, water again. So that ties in that element. Just but stick a pin in the element water because that's going to be coming back too. So if we're saying that the sun and the moon has a direct effect on our psycho, emotional, spiritual sense of well-being, I think it would be really arrogant, dismissive, and possibly a little bit ignorant or naive to say that only those two planets, out of the myriad, especially of major planets, they don't have an effect. Only the sun and the moon. All right, boom. With that disclaimer said, yeah, it says that this weekend's full moon on the 18th, tomorrow at 10:11 UK time. Just that in its I know that hasn't missed you. Um, is in Scorpio. Now I was doing some a little bit of looking and digging around the sign of Scorpio. I don't know a lot about Scorpions. I know apart from Scorpio is a very deep sign. It's a water element, so hang on the water shelf. Um, very deep, like basically the zodiac. Each sign of the zodiac is said to correspond to a different part of the body, and the sign of Scorpio represents the genitalia. Yes, on a sexual level, and like a lot of scorpions are said to be great lovers, but not just on that level, as in genitalia is where the root and the sacral chakra is. It's that kind of energy that very deep, very below the surface, very rooty energy, like rooty, grounded water. So deep water, basically, not surface water, diving deep, like spiritual, all of that. Um, it says to the sign of Scorpio is said to deal with like death and rebirth and rejuvenation and cleansing also. So when you think about bringing it back to the human body, so when I'm talking, I'm going to be giving you energetic, spiritual, and physical, if I can. Um, when you think of the menstrual cycle, urination, ejaculation, etc., water coming out from the depths, that has quite a profound effect on a lot of people. You see, so Scorpio, that's physically, energetically, it's like water, or like sacred waters, basically, in lots of ways, coming forth from the epicenter of the person, from the root of the person, from the depth of the person, you get me, or the being, from the soul, from the spirit. So you imagine, we've already said that the moon, okay, so the moon also is said to be a feminine energy. It's the sun's masculine, the moon's feminine, um, due to its energy and how it is. It's water element, and water's a feminine element. So you've got the moon, that's water, feminine, quite introspective. We're talking about having vivid dreams and communication and what have you. And then the full moon is in Scorpio, which you're saying is related to death, rebirth, not necessarily physical death, but just as in transformation, yeah? But most like the phoenix rising from the ashes, or what's your name? My girl, man, from Game of Thrones with the dragons and that. You get me? You understand the archetype. Boom. Try to bring it in a bit modern. So you've got the moon energy coupled with this very deep, quite primordial water energy. So there's the water energy happening. And the full moon is a time to release and let go. Right. Are you seeing how the two's correlating yet? So it's like, but before I get into that, also, while that's happening, because this full moon in Scorpio is occurring in Taurus season. So, boom, Taurus, earth element, Taurus, gangster, two bull car ruling a one pen, Rosie head roll. See how my head naturally going forward to talk about Taurus like bull boca, doppy conqueror, edge him. Um, Taurus is ruled by Venus. is a earth sign, deals with the home, grounding, feeling secure and safe. Venus um, deals with like beautification, money, sensuality, pleasure, so decadent food, sex, possibly drugs for those who partake, alcohol excesses, intoxication, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's Auntie Venus. She's a good time girl. She's a Buddha's. You get me? So you've got Venus in Taurus because it's Taurus season now. Where we are on the astrological wheel is in Taurus. So we're in that grounded energy, that earth energy, um, being affected, and that earth energy, that grounded energy, that home energy is being affected by the kind of pleasure seeking, money loving, abundant Venus, very feminine energy. Yeah. And in addition to that, Mercury, which is the planet of communication and trips and journeys, and what's the other thing? That contracts, journey, communication, and electronic devices and stuff like that. Um, so basically, communication is also in Taurus as well. So if you've got Mercury, so you've got communication and sensory pleasure, loving, abundant richness in home life occurring at the same time that there's this very much watery energy. So Taurus is like the sun. Taurus is ruling the sun right about now. So the sun's like the earthy, grounded, um, homely. It's basically saying, right, I'm going to sum it up in a minute, but I'm just stepping through it because I'm working it out in my mind as well to know where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, what makes sense, what doesn't. Boom. And then you've got that earthly, home, decadent, fun-loving energy with this very deep, introspective, um, like nighttime almost. It's like the opposites, but saying the same thing. That's also kind of sensual, deep, primordial energy happening. And what that says to me is, so you've got Mercury, Venus, Taurus, Scorpio, and the Moon together. So looking at those energies and what they kind of loosely represent. Again, I'm not an expert. If you need an expert, you can then take whatever bits from this and go and have a look and do your research. There's loads of stuff out there with a lot of people that are a lot more versed in it than what I am. This is me just from my layman's terms, just looking for anything and saying, oh, with sans woo woo, basically. So to me, it's saying, you know what? This might be a time to go in, look at the people, places, things, habits, whatever, that are no longer serving me, you get me? Because it's the full moon, it's time to release. What's no longer serving me? For some people, it can be a relationship. For some people, it can be their eating habits or some kind of narcotics habit. For some people, they might want to give up smoking. For some people, they might want to give up gambling. For some people, their job might be making them sit their face and burn out. You see what I'm saying? For some people, it might be that they are very flashy and need to save some money. What's no longer serving you? It could be them a friend of me that you like. You look and your eyes are open and you go, "Well, hold on." Every time I see this person, boy, so they're not the friend to me that I am to them. You are trying to see what no longer serves you, what gonna go. Time for spring cleaning, whether that's mental, whether it's emotional, or what have you. So Taurus is saying home, go home, find your yard, and that could be your physical house, like your yard where you live, your address. But it can also be the home of the self. Go home or within, assisted by Scorpio, yeah, to just look inside, ask questions. Yes, Barrington Jr. Um, to go inside and see, like, ask yourself because one time it's a joke by Dave Chappelle on one of his last thingy bobs on Netflix, and he has a bit where he talks about I had the rare opportunity of asking myself how I felt about the thing because normally we're on go 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 do, but if you can take the time or make the time or have the privilege of that to literally be at home and then come home as in within, then it will help you to kind of see, well, what do I need to let go? And then assisted by the moon watery energy and the Scorpio watery energy. That water comes through for wash where you get me, wash off. Let me just do my Kenny Okuman. To wash off energetically anything that no longer serves you, anybody that no longer serves you. It's like literally like, you know what, and you control how intense or gentle that water is. It don't make sense, couple drip drip, because if you're giving the universe drip drip, that's what you're gonna get back. If something needs to wash or needs to go, be really make a focus on it this weekend, like during this full moon, just to listen, like to make that time to listen, like what really doesn't serve me, like what have I had enough of? What's just become like a really crappy habit that I can't shake? You know, like that. So, and then just working with the energies that's there. It's not like they're not going to stay like exactly in this way forever because planets move. It's like a clock or whatever, or how it moves through the celestial body, the galaxy. No, no, no. You get me? I never claimed to be an expert. So the signs will move, but at the moment, this is what it's saying is use the time to go inward, figure out what o'clock I strive, what's serving, what's not serving, and use that energy to like have just like a nice tsunami to just of positive anything to just wash it away, take it away nicely. Like what Bruce Lee said, become water, my friend, of drunken master. You get me? So full moon in Scorpio while we are in Taurus and Mercury and Venus is in Taurus. And again, so where Venus and Mercury come into that process is actually while you're doing that, sometimes it can be a bit harsh. It can be a bit, things come up, you can be a bit emotional because we spoke about the water energy. One of the things is tears. It can be even laughter. You know, people say laughter, you cry. Yeah, or it can be literally like tears. You get me? Because, like, you know, there's how many of us have that experience of where we literally, like, literally a hair's breadth from bawling and can't cry, can't show any weakness, got to keep it together, show face, all of that. Like, I don't have that issue because I'm an onion fam. Like, chop up the onions in the room, let's have it. Because me and my one of my mad random theories is that crying is the emotional equivalent of needing to go for number two. Better out than in. Nobody wants to be full of constipated. Get me? Mm. Talking of water. Why that did sweet. Jeez, yo. Boy, you know when you're drinking the water, you can feel it actually cascading down to right back. Lovely. Actually, um, as we talk, yes, where was I? I was talking about how you're going through this process, but it doesn't have to be like this whole horrible process where you're just beating up yourself and it's got to be awful and what have you, because this is what puts a lot of people off having that self inquiry anyway. So, Mercury, planet of communication, is assisting pleasure loving Venus. They say, yeah, what, yeah. While you deal with this energy here, be nice to yourself. Remember, Venus is the home energy. Um, excuse me, I cannot remember what zodiac sign Mercury is. If anybody knows, let me know. But it's communicating, like it's talking to you, saying, "Yo, take some time to just be nice, be a bit decadent, cook a nice dinner, invite round that wolf thing that you've had an eye on for a while." Scorpio energy's in there, so it might be the weekend to be down with the fool la la. What are you doing? Play safe, children. Make sure people them have been tested and blessed. You get me? And not just because not everything that look nice make for make for touch. Sometimes it's just for fat in the eye. You get me? Keep it moving, or just having that experience of just like interacting with somebody who you think, yeah, you're both you are. But not just because you look on them, you and have to touch it. You get me? Um, or touch it if that, as long as it's consensual adults, I feel your business, that me no business. Yeah, and enjoy. That's the other thing. Make sure you enjoy it, because what's the point of doing it if you don't enjoy it? Could be cooking a nice meal, like you could be like, oh, I've seen this vegan recipe that I want to try. Da, 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 da. I might want to try juicing and juice for like do the juice fast, which is water based, like liquid based, fluid based, water, moon, Scorpio energy. Depends, like, but use the time. It's like be a homebody. It might be to just declutter a corner of the house, because remember we're in Taurus, we're in Venus, beautification and what have you. Mercury's communicating to be nice. And sometimes when there are intense feelings, thoughts, emotions, sometimes it's good to have something really mundane to do to just not distract yourself, but kind of, it's almost like, sometimes it's easier to have a conversation with a person when you're not looking them dead in the eye. It's a bit like that. It's easier to have a conversation with yourself when you're not looking yourself dead in the eye. Because what you're going to do, unless that's something that you want to do, sit down in the mirror and go, right, tell me who you want to get rid of, tell me what you want to get rid of. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's like whatever works. Like, it might be where you're just pottering. I call it pottering. Might be repot a plant, who knows? But just do something mundane that is going to make your home, your space, your sanctuary a bit nicer for you to inhabit while having this conversation with yourself, to allow that still small voice that's often very shy to just come true and listen to what's being said. Um, it might be useful to keep a little something next to your bed, pen and paper, my pad and my pen. You didn't go there, the beats and the black. Anywho, next to your bed, so that if you do wake up out your sleep and have a vivid dream, just write down what you can remember while it's fresh. Or some people, they tap it out in their phone. The only reason why I say don't do the phone is because the light from the phone will then wake your brain up. If you're anything like me, the minute I'm aware that I'm awake, I'm awake. That's it for me. So, which is what happened this morning. Didn't drop sleep until after 5, and then somebody sent me a lovely YouTube video at like 8:23, and man was awake from then. So man is just panda, yeah, panda, 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 panda. Anyway, so keep a pad and pen next to the bed. Um, Also, there's a something that I like to use, which is called, it's a app. You can get the app for your phone, or you can go online. It's called Dream Moods. And what you do is, like, even if you don't remember the whole dream, normally we remember aspects of it. So, boom, say for instance, you had a dream that an old friend um, was driving in one car and you was driving the next car, and old friend drained your brake fluid, ta 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 ta. Just as an example, what you could do is in this app, you could type in car. What does car mean or represent in dreams? What does friend represent in dreams? What does breakthrough? It might be in there. I know on the app that list is less extensive than it is online. There's more on the online version or what have you. Or you could dream that, I don't know, um, the morph thing that you seen the other day came to talk to you, and as they went to talk, butterflies come out their mouth. Like that could be the dream. What does that mean? So then you could look up the separate elements of the dream, i.e., butterflies, mouth, love interest, speaking. You get what I mean? So different elements you can type in, and that helps to kind of piece together. Because dreams are just your way of talking to yourself in a way that's abstract, because we're not as versed at listening to ourselves as maybe we should be. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Um, uh, I would thoroughly recommend diffusers. I've been like tinkering with it down here. I'm itching to test out fragrance. It's something that I'll be coming up with. So don't mind me while I do this, because actually, remember, in terms of sensory and pleasure, for olfactory senses, eyes, ears, taste. The dream app's called Dream Mood. So DreamMoods, Dream Moods, yeah. And it's, I think for me, it's quite accurate. And this essential oil blend is said to help for full moon. It's because I'm making my full moon candles. Boogie! No worries, sis. I like sharing, like I say, I'm not an expert on out, but I like sharing little things that help people, if they can, because what's the point of me there with my big, my big beautiful self, yeah, and not have no use, you get me? Don't make no sense. So yeah, dream moves is a good one, and it's just what I like, because the nerdy part of my brain that likes to figure things out and find solutions and calculations, I call it the Rain Man part of my brain, really likes figuring out dreams because it's so abstract. Ah, thank you, darling. Virgo and Gemini is under Mercury. Thank you, my darling. So when you think about in terms of Mercury, um Virgo energy, Virgo is a beautificated sign, because doesn't isn't Virgo involved with Venus as well, or is that me got it wrong? No, because I'm sure Venus rules Taurus and another sign, or have I got that completely wrong? And Gemini, which is yeah, it's mercurial in its energy because it can, like, the dualities. Ah, nice. So that's even another aspect and another layer into the thing as well, which is why it's important to have these moments where you have the by yourself meeting. You know what I mean? And I think I'm going to do one thing that I love this weekend, which is I'm going to be making some candles. So, which is why I like doing my diffuser to see if the scent comes out in force. You get me? But it also has a double benefit of helping man to navigate this full moon. And the thing that's nice about the diffuser is it's just water and your essential oils. It's good for people that have got asthma. If anybody's got like lung problems where liquid is an issue, then I wouldn't recommend it as much. I'd say, well, with all things, if you're unsure, seek medical advice. You get what I mean? But for me, I find for some people can't do incense in it because the smoke might affect their lungs. So again, as we're dealing with water energy, with the moon and Scorpio, in terms of the sensory pleasures, listening to Miss Venus, it might be good to have my diffuser on the go. I started off with the smoke at the start of the session. So now I'm going to go with water, the feminine, as I do start to wind it down. And here he starts the process of actually, again, it's like steam is like the water version of smoke, so it's clearing that energy, which is really nice. Um, oh, yo, you see the live? I think I found my new moon candle fragrance. Ooh, bam. Yo, wait till you catch a hold of this. Ooh, bam. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Having a moment. I'm having a sensory moment. Wow. Yeah, boy. Ooh, right. Full moon candles on deck. What? Watch out now. Because there there's a full moon ritual which I sometimes do and sometimes I don't. Which is where literally whatever particular candle, there's a way to dress the candle like they call it dressing the candle, like you dress the candle away from you because you want to release something and write down certain things that you want to release in a heat-proof dish. I sometimes use this little pirate dish thing that I've got, right? Put the paper in the thing, put the candle on top of the thing. I usually use one of the flat stack candles away from curtains and papers and all them something there. Because I don't want nobody to go and burn down their ass following what I said and say, well, it's your fault. Because no, yeah. Make sure away from anything that can catch. So I light the candle, stick it on top, and and I don't put that candle out until it burns down completely whenever it does. Usually takes 3 days, which is really nice. Just I really enjoy like just kind of looking over while I'm doing what I'm doing and see just yeah. We be burning that concert, they want nobody want us. Hey! So silly. Um, and things that can go or you can write on it is like I release. Um, so start in the positive I release and then put whatever it is you release. Be clear, be definite, don't be wishy washy with the language. Like for instance, talk from a fluffy perspective now. So for instance, if I was saying that I release to say I release not being supermodel size or something, I fuck with that foolishness that you get me. But if I said I release my negative eating habits and patterns to see how that's a lot more clear and distinct. I might write that for them. I can write down right this weekend. There I go, because there's no shame in the game, just honesty, transparency, and authenticity. Boom, bam. So that's, one thing that you can do for the full moon. Because once you've had the conversation with yourself and listen to the answer, that might be the thing that you need to let go. Or if you find that you're just thinking and listening to yourself a little bit, you might have a random name or a random thing or occurrence or place that pops out, and then you go, oh. And then what you do is you start to realize how wise you actually are, you know, um, and how if you give yourself a chance, just what wisdoms can come out. Um, this weekend might be a good time to have a nice, I don't know, if the kids are making up noise or your partner's doing whatever they're doing or what have you, just say, yeah, everybody good, all right, okay. I'm going in the back for an hour and just light yourself some candles, drop some light. You might find that it's probably half an hour by the time you sweated out and the water's gone cold and blah, but enough is enough. And put some essential oils in the bath maybe, careful that you don't slip. Or you can have like Epsom salts or Moldavite salts or Himalayan pink salts or Dead Sea salt, whatever your zhuzh is, put that in the bath water. Salt water. The guy called Mark Bayersky, I think he pronounced it on YouTube. He spoke about this. I call him Marky B. In my head, I think I always give people nicknames, and it so in my head he's Marky B. So Marky B was talking about like the sea and salt water having the ability to draw away. Talking of water having the energy to clear and wash away stuff. Salt water has the energy to well, it's good for soothing aching muscles, but it's also good for energetically pulling away certain stuff. So there's a couple of ways that you could use this. You could run a salt bath, soak in it, and then rinse off after in the shower. Or you could literally get like, I don't know, a container. It's about a cup full of like salt in the shower. And literally take up a bit of salt and wash yourself down with the salt, you know. I also do a sea salt, Himalayan pink salt scrub, and that's basically a bar of soap. It's a spa bar, I call it, and it's got Himalayan pink salt in there. So you're getting the cleansing property of the soap, but you're getting the spiritual property of the salt. It's not just cute or for exfoliation. Like every single one of like my products has got some kind of meaning, spiritual, energetic meaning about it. But yeah, that's enough about that. You know, I try to sell him up. Just I share with Um, so that's one way. Just knock off and just have that little bit of you time to just say, you know what, this is just for me to have a conversation with myself. Um, so yeah, could be where you have a conversation with someone else. Like it doesn't have to be a lock off everything lock off thing. That's just you like if you know me, you know that that's my preferred go to. Yeah, that's just my zen. And also, but I love having conversations with others as well. But I think certain times, especially these kind of times where energetically there's a lot going on, sometimes it's good to be still. My grandma used to sing this song, and the words was "Be still and know that I am God." Like, and obviously, Nanny was a Christian, but she was a good Christian to be fair. A good example of Christianity. So, yeah, so there was that, and children. So full moon, half moon, totally eclipse. Remember that advert? I've been, I've been trying to stop myself saying that shit from the start of the show. From guilty feet have got no rhythm. I'm so tired. I'm getting silly. Like I can't even see my eyes, fam. Hold on. There she goes. Right, we've got this thing in our family. Like when we're tired, yeah, we say, "Oh yeah, such and such is tired. Natalie's tired." And that's when the silliness comes out and the giggles and stuff like that. Just to get to the next stage. I wish I could come around the car, yo. I'm not far off. Bath and bed, man. Bed and bed. I'm not gonna be a bath tonight. Yes, no. It's gonna have to be a lick and promise. And then a nice full day today and lock off the phone. One thing that I'm gonna try, and I might set a little challenge actually. If you feel like if you want join in. If you don't want to, that's fine as well. It's all right. No force, no pressure. Um, what I will be doing is, I think, for an hour, 10:11 till 11:11 p.m. tomorrow. There, I've said it now. Communication, Mercury. Come through, Mercury. Come through. Innovate. 11:11. 10:11 p.m. till 11:11 p.m. is just a switch off phone, switch off internet, switch off everything electronic, everybody like the candle them and just think if the idea of that sweets you out, I'm a witchy woman, like I'm witchy. So no juju woman. So that don't bother me at all. Um, you could do it. Yeah, we'll have two shifts. Whichever one suits you the best, feel free to join in. I mean, no say at some point they'll go what's I'm free, right? 10, 11 a.m. till 11 a.m. or 10 11 p.m. till 11 p.m. And there's power in those numbers as well. And we'll speak about that next week. Because I did the first Feel Good Friday, if I remember, that one's gone though. And the kind of pilot was it Wellbeing Wednesday? I can't remember, but I spoke about the numerology and the numbers, so we need to bring that back actually. That was kind of cool. So Feel Good Friday, turn up or turn down the way you want to. It's your girl Natalie, big sister signing off. Nurture by Natalie, always. Well-being without the woo-woo. Sans woo-woo show. Feel Good Friday. Drink water, mind your business. Peace.